Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the Arts here. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what we can expect following this full moon eclipse in Taurus. It is a full moon lunar eclipse and it is the last one until 2025. So this morning I sat down to do some channeled writing and I had this whole flow of messages that came through. This is something that I'm going to put in a more concise format into some posts. But the general theme of these energies is we are stepping into or through a new gateway. This is like a portal and it signifies the ending and the beginning of phases of our lives. Now, this doesn't mean at this point, at this moment in time specifically, there is going to be a cutoff and then a new beginning. What it means is now through to 2025 when we have the next full moon lunar eclipse, or the next total eclipse, we're going to be having these huge shifts in our own energy, in our own being, in the world around us. This is one of our greatest phases of evolution within our lifetimes. You can see how much the world has changed over the last few years, and this is like a line in the sand is how it's being displayed to me. A line in the sand and something that we move beyond, something that we are going to build upon. And it's going to be different for all of us, what it is that we are letting go of and moving into. So when it comes to full moons, they're often a time of release. And it feels very much at this moment like we're going to be shown or feel, because this is in Taurus, I'm getting such a strong sensory element to how this might be experienced. Again, I'm a Sun Moon Taurus, so that might be different for you if you've got different placements in your astrology. But it's being expressed to me is we will have these really sensory experiences of what no longer works for us, what no longer fits in our world, what has served its purpose, what has no longer feels comfortable, what no longer feels right, what no longer feels fitting. And it's not to be confused with the discomfort of actual growth. We go through phases of discomfort as part of our growth, but there is also new ways of doing things for ourselves, finding different levels of physical sensation that feel right, honoring the sensations in our body and our intuition of what feels right, of what feels aligned. And again, noticing when something perhaps doesn't feel so aligned or doesn't feel quite right to us. And often as we go through these phases of awakening, we will feel these shifts, these subtle shifts in energy, in the cosmic energies around us. Not everybody feels this the same way. It's not our job to force anyone else to feel this. As you, as an individual, as you've been developing yourself, working on your own growth, your own evolution, going through these cycles, honoring them, honoring yourself, and bringing in that awareness, focusing on your own healing and where you're headed, your own evolution and growth. As you've been doing that, you've become more sensitive to these subtle energy changes. And it means now that everything's going to feel so much more sensitized. You are going to see things and feel things perhaps in a different way to the people around you. And whilst that can feel really disconcerting, it can also be really empowering as we realize that actually, we are changing. And as we look at ourselves on a day-to-day basis, it's like looking in the mirror when you're trying to lose weight or looking at a child as they grow. You don't necessarily see the day-to-day shifts. You don't necessarily become aware of how your responses and reactions to certain situations or stimulus change until there's kind of a big wake-up moment and you're like, wow, that was just my experience of this situation. It was just so different to what I've been through before. This is that line in the sand moment. This is one of them where we can take a look and go, do you know what? I have come so far. I have completely shifted and changed from one way of being that I probably wouldn't even recognize anymore. And it can be really tempting to look back and go, oh my God, what was I doing? No. Love yourself for the person that you were, for the person that you are, for the person that you will be. As I shared with my patrons in an earlier video, You know, you are all versions of yourself at one time. And recognizing your power, recognizing your ability to shift, to change, to see the world manifest in alignment with the things that you want, your desires, your beliefs. You know, it's about owning all of those parts of who we are, not repressing anything that comes up that might be difficult or uncomfortable. One of the hardest things is being the greatest expression of yourself through difficult situations, in dark places, or through difficult experiences. And no, we're not always that, but it's knowing that incrementally we are growing, that step by step, piece by piece, we are shifting forwards and making different choices, responding in different ways, honoring ourselves in different ways, making ourselves available for different experiences, and coming into alignment with different experiences by the subtle changes in our energy and our fields. So it's a time to really honor the work that you've done and how far that you've come. I know that this phase that we're stepping into now is a deeper and more expansive phase of what we've already been doing. Like I said, it feels like a 2.5 years up to this next eclipse. You know, I think this is the last total lunar eclipse that we will have until 2025. So it feels like this kind of a time frame. It's like the closing of a door and simultaneous opening of another. Now, all lunar cycles can be like that, but this one feels more like a time to really honor where you've been and how far you've come. And if you can, because I know these energies are really intense and they could be really chaotic for different people, there could be changes, there could be endings, and there could be very deep sensations of suddenly things not feeling right anymore, suddenly things feeling like I can't do this, or I don't want this, or this is not working for me. Honoring that feeling and then deciding gently with yourself in a loving and calm way, okay, what can I do about this? How can I change this? What can I choose that's different? What would make me feel more comfortable? What would make me feel more satisfied? What would make me feel more at peace? What would make me feel more loved? And again, these are things that we create within ourselves. These feelings and experiences are things that we create within ourselves. So it's taking the time to tune in, to feel, and also not feeling like it is just today. It doesn't have to be this one moment. You know, the intensity of these energies will subside, but what they will have illuminated will stay with us. And that's our invitation to shift and to change and to grow through this next cycle over these next couple of years and seeing where we can go with it. There doesn't have to be an emphasis on time. There doesn't have to be an emphasis on speed. This is your growth. This is your evolution and your journey. You cannot be late for your soul purpose. You cannot be late in your journey. It's about you. So it's, again, like I keep saying, it's recognizing those feelings, those emotions, those sensations within you and taking it at your pace. And the word honor just keeps coming up. It's honoring yourself, because as a collective, we have been through some really challenging and tumultuous times lately. You might find that, you know, you are no longer in resonance with some of the things that you once loved the most or clung to the most as a part of your identity or your expression or just who you were. And that can be challenging. So as these awakenings, these awarenesses, these epiphanies come up, catalysts for change in our lives, these endings that may occur, endings that we may be asked to trigger or feel that it's time to initiate, know that this is part of a bigger cycle. And you know, once we've had these kind of realizations, once they come up, once we've felt them or seen them or received that wisdom, you know, it's on our time and our pace and our life to implement those changes. It is an evolution. All areas of life have to kind of catch up, and we can remain in balance for as much as we can by doing that in that way. But I will share the specific channeled messages that came through in a post. I just wanted to share this as a kind of a message for moving forwards and moving through these eclipse energies. You know, and again, it's just about honoring who we are, honoring who we've been at all stages, knowing that we are still changing, that we're still growing, and we will ideally keep doing that until, you know, our last days. So just keep going, hold the faith, and keep holding on to that vision of what it is that you want, recognizing, most importantly, how things feel within your body, within your sensations, within your life. Because the more you tune into that, the more you will sense those subtle energy changes when something doesn't feel right, when something doesn't feel aligned, when you get those intuitive nudges, that feeling in the pit of your stomach that says, oh no, I really, this sounds like it should be perfect, but actually I'm not feeling it. Learning to honor and recognize that, that is its own evolution. It's about learning to trust our intuition, building that relationship and that trust, that symbiosis with the cosmic energies. It's very much the energy of the Ehrhar's rune. Building upon that, building upon it within ourselves so that it becomes a part of our way of being. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope this eclipse is gentle for you. I am going to film a reading for the a collective reading for the eclipse energies, and I'm going to be offering 2023 readings soon. I've also got artwork going into an exhibition next week. That will be for 10 days, and I've got a whole load of offerings that I'm going to share. So do, if you feel inclined, all of my information is in the description box below if you'd like to reach out for personal readings, for runes, for artwork, whatever you feel. You know where to contact me. Anyway, sending you all my love, and I'll speak to you really soon. Take care.